Hello everyone, welcome to drawing a street and a parking place for your house and inserting the landscape. So by now you've drawn your house and you've placed it on your site plan and you've created your opening. I put some trees on there, and what I did was I inserted all the trees that were in Revit, and I deleted all the ones that I didn't like. So I now just have the ones that I like, and I'm going to use those. And it's taking me a long time to render because I'm in the rendering. So I'm going to go back to shaded, and see, and Revit is going to make these linear cardinal trees, north, south, east, and west, just to regenerate faster. So don't get spooked. And from now on, since we're drawing, we're going to draw in shaded mode. So click on the shadows on right next to the sunlight, right down here. Shadows on. Okay, so now you have shadows on, and then of course if you click here, shadows off. See how much better it looks. All right, so I created a site plan and I created these posts. I'm about to put a porch on here, and evidently the porch is above the ground there, so the ground is going down, and so I want the post to go through to a footing below. So I'm gonna, if I click on that footing, that's the correct one, and if you look, it's on top level, is on top level 6, and base level is on level 9. So 6 and 9, those have to be correct. So if I click that one and I put this one on 9, it will change it. It will take that one down. So all of those can be taken down. And of course this one is wrong, and this one is on, should be base level 6, and that should be base level 9, and then it will be okay. So I'm going to match all of those posts down here. And the way I drew the post, you don't have to, but I'm just getting fancy here. If for those of you who want to explore more items in Revit, you can do this. All right, so what I did was I went to level 1, and I found out I also have a porch on the back. Let's see. And I'm doing, oh, I have the porch on the front here, and I'm doing the same thing with that one. I'm creating a level. Let's go to the north, south, east, and west. Once you create those posts, you give them a level, and see, this is level 20 feet 6. You give them a level, and that way when you type it in, you can easily place them on the level that you want. And these are on level 9. See, level 9 is the bottom of the post, and level 6 is the level of the top. So let's go back to level 1, and if I want to, I can draw architecture, and I can go to column, I can go to architectural. And of course, I created that wooden column from the other bank of columns. I created those. You can start off with a 18 by 18, okay? And you can place an 18 by 18 if you want, okay? And you can clearly see it's an 18 by 18 column. Look at that. And if you want that column to go to the grade, you click on it. And remember, you've got to take it to level 9, the level that you created on there, okay? In sequence. They're out of sequence on mine, but don't worry about it. If you create 2 more levels, then they will be 8, 9, 10. And they may not be in linear sequence of going from lowest to the top. It's just in the 9th level that you created. And if I want this column to go up to the 2nd floor and create another deck here, I can say, well, let's go to the level 2. All right, and or I can say, wait, let's create this. Stay on level 9 and create this one on level 4. Let's go up to level 4 on this one. So now, oops, I'm taking this column all the way up here. So I can, what are my levels there? What level do I want it on? Let's go over here. Oh, I want it on level 2, because level 2 is right here at 8 feet. So I'm going to change that from level 4 to level 2, and it should go down. See, now the column is on level 2. Okay. So now if I roll it, it's a column right there. So I can make as many columns as I want. And I can click on this column. I made a 4x4, 6x6, and an 8x8. I can go to Edit Type, and it's made out of wood. I can duplicate it. Let's say make this a 2x2. I made all the other ones, 4x4, 6x6, 8x8, so I don't want it. So I'm gonna make this a 2. And I space and a capital X by 2. And I say okay. Now all I have to do is change the dimensions. The depth, I just type it as 2 inches. Really 1.5, you have to draw them as they are. And the width, 1.5, because a 2x2 is 1.5 inches by 1.5 inches. So it's 1.5. So it's, oops. Make sure you put 1.5 inches, otherwise it'll make it 1.6 inches. So it's 1.5 inches and 1.5 inches, and say okay. So now you see that little column is now a 2x2. So that's how I made those. And I rotate them in plans. These were straight, and then I rotated these the same length angle as these. And I can do this, and I'll show you. It's very easy. You click on it, and you go to rotate, and you start it, okay? And then you line it up with the parallel, and then you turn it, right? So you go to rotate, and you turn it to where you want it. There you go. And you can eyeball it, see? Now you can line it up with parallel with it. Now it's making a shadow, okay? So I'm gonna erase that because I don't need that one. And of course the shadow goes away. Oh, and I made the deck here. This is a wooden deck. Instead of a 10-foot, I did a architectural floor, and I used the 10-inch floor, but then I edited this and made it a 2x8, so it's now 7 1/4. So I made that deck 7 1/4. I made that one 7 because they're 2x8s. All right, so let's go back to the level 1 and look at our plan and our site plan. Okay, let's go to the site. If you want to put the roads got to go on the site. All right, so what we want to do, this is another way of splitting the surface. This is a way of doing it very quickly. You can also do the other way. It's a longer way, but you can do more and add curves and things like that. But let's go to masking in site, because we're still on the site. Make sure you're in the site plan. Make sure that you see that little triangle that lets you know that you're in the site plan. You can't do it on the level 1 or 2 or whatever. All right, so I'm in masking in site. Let's go to sub-region. And of course the line and the drawing tools come up. So what we want you to do is we want you to make a regular street. Okay, and typically streets in a residential area are 25 to 30 feet wide. So you can offset that. So let's go to offset. I'm gonna make mine 25. Oops. 25 feet. Okay. I started typing before I put it up. I clicked up here. AutoCAD, Revit won't let you do that. All right, so that's 25 feet. Now what? If I click here once, it goes here, but if I click twice, it goes down there, okay? So I'm gonna erase that. So that's how you know that one. All right, so double click. Twice it goes to the other one. And you can always erase the one that you don't want. And the green check is for when you're finished with everything. So once you do that, you can't have any scraggler lines out here, so you got to go to line, and you got to connect, and you got to connect. Okay? Don't green check. Just heal all of your lines and make sure you have no open-ended places, right? So now you can fill it. There you go. And there you go. And there you go. Now I want a road that goes to my house and a parking pad, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a nice little parking pad right here. And your road has to have a little curve in it, so make sure your road is curving, right? So I'm going to start right here. I'm going to make a little driving pad so I can back up. And then you can make these, I'm going to go behind the trees there. There you are. And I'm going to go down here. Okay? And now I'm going to draw the other line where I'm just going to come right off of here. And I'm going to do parallel. Okay, and then I'm going to go offset. I'm going to draw a line parallel to there. So let's go to parallel. Let's go to this one. And I didn't type in the number, so let's see. If I measure this, let's see, from here to here, hopefully it's 15. Okay, it's 13. I better do 15 for the drive so you can get 2 cars going. So let's offset, and let's type in 15 feet. I'll change that 2 to a 1. Okay, and then we'll go 1, and we'll go 1. Okay, so now that's a little bit close to my deck in my house. I'll change it later. I'm going to click on this one, and I'm going to delete it. Okay, and I'm going to move this one over, right? I'm going to move it. All right, and now I'm going to offset it again. Offset. I'm still in the 15 mark. There you go. Now I can get rid of this bump here. I didn't like that anyway. So now I'm a little bit cleaner, and you can figure it out if you want. And let's get rid of this one. Delete. Now you got to break this line because you're going to radius this and radius this. So here's your break marker. See that little piece of a firecracker there? Click on it, and the pencil. Okay, little dot means that you've done it correctly. Okay, so now you can fillet chamfer, but we don't want a linear. We want a curvilinear. Oh, you've got to break this one down here too. So let's go to firecracker and break this line. Good. So now there's a hidden one up here. You don't really notice it, but see that one? Right there, it says fillet arc. It's got 2 little dots on there. So if you click it, don't forget, you got to type in a radius. Click on the check of radius. Now these around the house can be 3 to 5, but these have to be 10 to 12 or 15 if you have a major, if it's 30 miles an hour. The faster this street is, the more the turning radius goes. But we're going to say that it's a residential and it's 25 miles an hour. So if it's 25, I usually do 12. If it's 30, I do 15. I go half. So that's a rule of thumb. So let's go to 12 feet. That's really good enough. And I'm gonna go click and click. There's my 12 and click and click. There you go. And this one, this one's got to go out here and click and go to straight here. All right. So let's go make this one straight and see what happens. Okay, that's all right, but I'm going to change that to 3. All right, so I'm going to go to radius, click it on it, and I'm going to go to 3 feet. 3 feet. Okay, and I'm going to make them all 3 feet. This one, and I'm going to make this one. Remember, we broke that one, and we broke it here. Okay, so now we don't need the rest of those. Let's go to click. Let's click on this one and X out, and click on this one and X out. Oops, we forgot these right here. So let's do these. Those are midway, so those can get away with 10-foot radiuses. But I'll show you something that a lot of people forget. If you're drawing a concentric radius, if this is a radius, this one's larger than this one's. This one's always smaller because it's going on the inside. It's because the radius starts here and it's the same curvature. So if I make this one 10, okay, let's do that. Radius. Okay, I'm going to make this one 10 feet. Enter. So I'm going to make this one 10. Okay, if I make this one 10, guess what this one has to be? Since the road is 15 feet wide, I have to add 15 to that 10. So this one's 25. Otherwise, if I do this, that radius doesn't make sense, does it? So it's the same 10, 10, and that's not going to happen. It's a wider circle, so it should be a wider radius. So let's change that radius to 25 feet, because 10 plus 15. And you'll see how it is now going to be concentric. See there? That makes more sense. And the cars won't crash. Okay, let's get rid of that one. So there's my road. And I can make it a little bit bigger if I want. Now I'm going to hit my green check. So now what I want to do is I want to edit the boundary. See there? I click on it. I X out and I click on it and I click on those 3 dots and I change the material. So what's the material? let's see, concrete, copper, concrete lightweight, precast. Let's do the concrete lightweight because it's a drive. There's asphalt too. So is asphalt on there? Asphalt shingle. Is bituminum on there? No. So I'm gonna just do concrete lightweight just for ease of use. But you can go online and find some concrete that you like and put it on there. Now that you've placed it on there, you can roll it and see what it looks like. See, it's a different material than that. And of course, I'm going to move my section box down, and that way you can see the rest of it. Like, let's move my section box all the way down so I can get it. Okay, good. So now, there's my material. Now, if I render it, you can clearly see. Let me do a ray trace. Let's do a fine ray trace with a shadow. There you go. And there's my road or my house. Okay. All right, and I'm gonna make a sidewalk to my house, and I'm gonna change that material. It's gonna be different. And let me take the ray trace off so I can go back to hidden line. And I'm going to make a stair right here to the deck, and then I'm going to make a little sidewalk. I'm going to add more trees too, and this is a good place to look where you can add trees. I added those trees that I liked, so here's what I did. I went to site component, okay, load families. You can load entourage and all those things if you want. But I just used the generic trees that are here, and they're pretty good. So what I did was I inserted each one, and I found from the cow's of dogwood all the way down, those are really nice trees. For some reason, these first 7 are kind of boring. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy some of these trees in here. Okay. And I'm going to pick that one, and okay, and I'm going to, this is the one I want, double click, all right, and I'm going to place this one, or you can copy them if you want, okay, and I don't want to make it too bushy, but I do want to make it look like it's reasonably well landscaped. Right? All right, so if I roll this back around, I got a nice forested backyard. Let's see what it looks like. Okay, let's see. With the trees all in there. Let's see, let's roll it back a little bit more. All right, let's see what that looks like. And I'm gonna do my ray trace and see what it looks like. Okay, that looks pretty good. I can add a few more trees and things if you want. There's one more thing I want to show you. Let's see. Let's go back to my hidden line. And let's go to level 1. And there's my trees there. You can also click on the trees that you like and go to copy and hit multiple and just put your multiple trees around there, right? Okay, and I like that little tree right there, so I'm going to go copy, and I'm going to multiple that one, and that one's going to be in between these other ones to give it a sort of a hierarchy so that all the trees don't look like sore thumbs sticking out. So there's some kind of, there you go. All right, and I made some off the site, so I'm going to take those back because we don't want to build on another person's property, do we? Okay. All right, so there's my trees. Now, if you look at this 1/8, you can change whatever scale you want when you're printing and plotting. So remember, you know that. And I wanted to show you something else before we leave about this. You can see there I put skylights on there. I went into the architectural and I put the skylights. So I went to architectural and I went to components, placed a component, and I went to load families, and I found all of those skylights and things like that. So you can do that too. And I realized that I wanted this skylight to be larger. So if I click on here, just like in AutoCAD, you can have a match properties, right? See that little paintbrush? If I click on that and I click that, it makes it that. Okay, if I click on that and I click this one, click the mother the same way in AutoCAD, it makes it the same way. Now if I click on that and I click on this window and I go over here to that window changes. Right, let me see what I've done here. Okay, that window's kind of wonky, isn't it? All right, so I'm going to change it back. So I'm going to click on the paintbrush, click on the parent, click the child. There you go. And I customized this eyelid window. It wasn't that size, but I went into edit and I made it so it conforms to the size and the shape of that one. So I've added a bunch more trees and things. So I'll do one more last rendering and we'll let you go. Voila. Okay, you can add cars and things if you want. And I'm going to change that stucco to something lighter and more contrast. And I'm going to get that tree out of my road. I'm going to add, this is a beautiful tree. I'm going to add some more of those. Okay, great. We will see you next time. Good job.